us. Let us make brick, verse 3, and burn them thoroughly. Let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name. Make us a name. There is no thought of God. There is no God in their thoughts. You know that is a problem. You know Jesus taught us it's a problem. Do you remember that story of that rich man that had a good harvest? And having a good harvest is not bad. Increasing your barns, your storehouses is not bad. In fact, the New Testament, Paul prayed for the church that God will increase your store of seed. So it's not bad. But this man had no thought of God. There was no God. There was no, what should I do for God? How do I appreciate God? Babu. All was about him. And God said, it can't work like that though. So I need to see you tonight. It just so happens that this visitation, he will not return from it until the resurrection. All right, so these men, you will see, have no thought of God. They said, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. These guys are deep. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. So the Lord was not here on earth, he was there. Verse 6, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. So this is what they want to start with, their unity. It can't work. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined. So anything they imagine to do, they'll go ahead and do it, because they are united. They are united. Go to. That's what they also said. Go to. Let us. So go to is saying to his own council, go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. You have to know who is boss. Okay? If the world would have peace, the world has to know who is in charge. If we don't realize who's in charge, the one in charge will keep beating us down until we acknowledge, hey, I can see it now. You are the one in charge. Remember Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, great Nebuchadnezzar. Remember him? Remember what the Lord said? The vision that said, until he acknowledges that heaven rules. You are not the ones in charge. We are the ones in charge. Of course, with God at the helm. Okay? So you understand what is happening in our world? It's just fight between us and God. Many of us don't even know we are fighting with God. But of course, those who know they are fighting. So any move people are making, and they are putting God in fact, removing God from the whole picture, you are fighting against God. Whatever. So God says, Yahweh says, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. So they didn't complete the project. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence the Lord scattered them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Okay. Let me read NIV. So NIV chapter 10 verse 10. The first centers of his kingdom, that is Nimrod, were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Calneh in Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Ir, and Calah, and Resen, which is between Nineveh and Calah, which is the great city. So, what one will see, or we can say that anyone who sits on the throne of Babylon is sitting on whose throne? Nimrod. He was the king, that was the first. Anyone who sits in Assyria is sitting on Nimrod's throne. I mean, it kind of simplifies the whole war. So it's just Nimrod against the Messiah. Abi, you get the idea? It's very simple. Just different versions of his same kingdom. Yeah, so you may note also Nimrod and Cain, they are brothers. You know what I mean by brothers, right? They are both city builders. And they are city builders outside God's presence. Outside of God's presence. So, just a pattern, right? So, those patterns. So we have Babylon and Assyria versus Jerusalem and Samaria. We have Nimrod is like Cain. And we also can see Nimrod is like Esau. Of course, Esau is after Nimrod. Why do I say Nimrod is like Esau? Because God rejected his kingdom. Amen. God rejected his kingdom. So it's like a firstborn that was rejected. So if you, in terms of kingdoms, Nimrod's kingdom is the firstborn kingdom, but it was rejected. So another thing we'll see is that Nimrod is the brain behind the whole let's build us a city thing. Since he's the king, he's the one running the show. You don't need to be told that he is the brain behind the let us. So even though we are reading let us, there is a mastermind behind the let us. Is Nimrod. Do we understand? Okay. Yeah. All right. So I think that will do for Nimrod and the city. So Nimrod, a mighty hunter before God. So whether he hunted men, and war was a normal thing for human beings anyway. Whether he hunted men or not, he hunted animals. So one strange thing with these guys is they're saying they want to build their tower to reach up to heaven. So they say, God, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. Let us make us a name, lest we scatter abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Does that sound like rebellion to you or not? So some points. So they want to build a city. The city, of course, is not for God. It is for them. Let us build ourselves a city. It is for them, not for God. Then they want the tower of the city to reach to heaven, with a tower that reaches to heaven, or to the heavens. Well. Apparently, they have an interest in the heavens. They have an interest in the heavens. Okay, and of course, it could also just be for a rallying point, a very high tower. Anywhere you are, you can see it. It's the center. We all gravitate towards it and stuff. But they want to reach to heaven. Let's just summarize it this way. They want to be like God. Men have always wanted to be like God. The sad thing is, God also wants us to be like Him, even though it doesn't look like that. The difference between us and God is that the path God wants us to follow is not the path we want to follow. We want to follow a path of independence. God says you have to follow a path of submission to me. You cannot be like me except you are subjected to me. You are under me. Okay? And when they say they want to make a name for themselves, it's very funny. I mean, you are the only ones here. What are you making a name for? Do you understand? Do you understand? You are the only one. Let's say you are the only one in the earth, and you say you want your name to be great. Who's going to observe if your name is great or not great? Who's going to observe? Yourself? So, if you want to, do you understand? This is all mankind says they want their name to be great. To who? Who are they doing competition with? Do you understand? Mm-hmm. If there was another group of men, I say you want your own name to be great, we understand. But you are the only group of men on earth. Who do you want your name to be great to? To animals? Obviously, these people, they are very bold. They are